Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to Mortgage on My Mind. I'm Natalie Salins, your host, and today our guest is Daniel Blankenship. He is the broker owner of 1% Lists Desert to Coastal Real Estate, serving Southern California's high desert and coastal markets. Based in Helendale, he provides a full-service, value-driven business model that reduces listing fees for clients across the high desert, Imperial Valley, and coastal regions. Thank you so much for being here, Daniel.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So I was curious, since we're talking about mortgages here, what would you say are some of the challenges of obtaining a mortgage, or what are the differences of obtaining a mortgage in the high desert as opposed to just a standard residential area?
It really just depends on the market and what community. Like here in Helendale, Silver Lake, there's really not much difference. Our little town has an HOA, so you have to factor in the $235 monthly fee.
Sure.
If you go out to Apple Valley, there's some parts of Victorville and Hesperia. They're on septic tanks, so you'll have to be able to make sure they get pumped, they
Sure.
get certified. If it fails, that's another could be up to $25,000 or more.
Oh my gosh, really?
So the seller has to be really on board to fix that, because that would be a lender required repair.
Yeah. For us, if it's on septic, which is not a standard thing, of course, but it happens a lot in the desert, if it's on
Yeah.
septic, then we need a septic cert, like you said, and it needs to be approved and pass.
Yeah.
I've not had one not pass, so I didn't realize it was that expensive.
I had one that failed, and we had to shop around because one of the septic companies wanted 23,000, and then we ended up settling on 15,000 with another company that does the same service, was reputable, and it finally passed. Some companies try not to hold the permits for it. You have to really make sure it includes the permit, it includes the installation and everything. That's where it gets expensive. And the timeline on that, sometimes it could be 2-3 weeks just to pull the permit.
I was going to say for
County of
permits,
San Bernardino, for sure. And then, of course, insurance is another factor. You may be pre-qualified for the house, but you got to check the insurance, see what the premiums look like. Sometimes if it's in a high fire zone, you'll have to go with the California Fair Plan, and that's not the cheapest on the plan.
It's the most expensive, actually, but
It is.
I know it's when and we know this as a lender. So when I'm qualifying somebody, if they mention that's where they're looking to purchase in the high desert or any kind of desert, Palm Springs, depending on, or mountain, of course, yeah, it's most likely going to have to go California Fair Plan or have a really high fire coverage. And you're like, okay, so it was going to be estimated at 100 a month, but now it's estimated at 400 a month. And this, of course, can change your qualification. It can change just depending on how into the high fire zone area you are. Like you said before, like there's across the street, you might not be in a high fire zone. And then right across the street you are, which is so crazy.
And then the last thing is taxes. Property taxes are not the same across the high desert. There's parts of Victorville that have what's called a Mello-Roos tax. That's when a builder builds, they don't want to pay for the roads or the school funds, so they get loans And then unfortunately, the school districts always ask for more bonding and funding. So you have to really take a look at the Mello-Roos, the special assessments. Here in Helendale, we see on average it's about $800-900 extra a year on top of the HO. But we're in parts in Victorville, especially for the Snowline School District. If you're really looking in that area, that will change your pre-qualification faster than you can think, because their average extra property tax is looking at about 2 to 3 thousand extra a year.
Oh, wow. And that's because of
Yeah.
school?
It's the schools, it's the fire, it's extra it's called Mello-Roos. It's extra
Right.
taxing and roads and stuff to get that development off. And unfortunately, that's for 30 years.
And assessments and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
We here in Los Angeles, we will sometimes have, we like to average around 1.2% for
Hmm.
property taxes. And then out of nowhere, there will be all these assessments that are sitting on the tax bill. And you're like, oh my gosh, do we have to try? Is that an every year thing? And it will
Yeah.
really push what you averaged and thought those might be. So yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if the payment looks like $2,500 a month, and then you add those, you're looking at adding an extra $500-600. You'll change it drastically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So tell me a little bit about what made you decide to transition from just a standard realtor to the franchise of 1% lists. And I don't even really
Absolutely.
know what that is. Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. What made me decide was a lot of things. I was with a big box real estate company, several different ones. I've been licensed for 14 years. So what really hit me hard was these referrals and these fees that real estate agents get. And unfortunately, I took one of my listings in Hesperia. It was a referral from another agent, which was fine. However,
Sure.
after all the fees I got hit with, it ended up being about 1%. So I was like, if I'm willing to work for 1%, I want to charge the customer 1%. I don't want to charge them 3% and send off their money I don't mind paying referral fees still, but I don't want to send it off to no man's land. And that really didn't do anything for the customer. And unfortunately, did some Zillow leads. They're 45% commission cut.
Okay.
And then, of course, my broker took a cut. So I got my broker's license. I actually started Googling how to do this 1% thing. And I came across the CEO and owner of Grant Clayton. We had an honest conversation. And he was like, if you want to get more listings, just offer the public a better deal. And real estate brokers already doing that to recruit agents. So instead of trying to recruit agents, just recruit listings. So last year I ended up selling about 14, 15 properties. I bid them about 1 month into this 1% thing, and I already have 10 active listings with about 7 more coming in the pipeline. So it's really exploded.
Wow.
It's saving the consumer money. Agents around me are not real thrilled about it. However, we're still paying out the same buyer compensation. And there's no corners are cut. I do professional photography still. I have signs. I have the sign company. I have my own office. We're ready to rock and roll.
Nice. Okay. Cool. And when did you start with the group?
I signed my franchise agreement in March, but
Oh,
I did not officially open the door until April 1st. That's when the Department of Real Estate said they recognized it, and then the Department of Real Estate actually backdated it just in case if I wanted to start it sooner, but I didn't. I wasn't comfortable until that was on my license.
wow. So that less than a month.
Yeah. So about 4 weeks into it,
Yeah.
and
Wow. Okay.
I didn't take any of those listings from the other company. So I'm still servicing those listings. Don't get me wrong, but they're staying with them. But everything else is I have 10 active listings at the 1% fee right now. Plus, hopefully 7 or 8 are going to come to the
It's
market.
amazing. It's
It can act in so many different ways. It's expensive to list a property, of course, because of different fees that you have to take on for marketing and stuff.
Yeah,
But as long as you find it profitable, it obviously helps with equity that the seller is saving, and it can also very much help with how the buyer will have some leniency in the fees that they will have, or even
for
just the
sure.
price that they will negotiate on. It just
Absolutely.
frees up some money on both sides.
Absolutely. And that also that leads to the conversation with sellers is if I give you a better deal, then you can give the public a better deal. It all trickles down because if when an agent takes on 3% listing, it automatically inflates the price a little bit because the seller goes, wait a minute, I need a net X amount of dollars. Yes,
Right.
it is, and it is profitable, and it is volume as well, but stay active communications with everybody is the key when you're
Right.
managing that many listings.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. And so are they all in the desert that you're getting them?
Some of them are, most of them are. There is investors that are decided to use me. So I will be getting a couple that are out of the area, but for the most part, I try to stay in the high desert, the Coachella Valley. I would like to try to trickle down to the Orange Coast a little bit in Orange County. Really just depends on the consumer and what they're comfortable with.
Sure. Do you do Joshua Tree area or that's
Oh
too
yeah.
far east?
Oh
Yeah.
no, I have a land listing in Joshua Tree right this second.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
No, there's nothing really too far for me.
No.
I'm happy to jump in the car and go.
Yeah. Funny. And do you find that it helps with for us, which loan product do we go with on these kind of homes? Do you find that it's more investors that are buying and selling, or is it like
It's a
second
handful of
home?
people.
It's what's that?
It's a handful of people. The one new listing that I took here in Helendale, they're just wanting to sell their vacation home and they never really lived there. They're the original owners and they just wanted to save money on the fees.
Correct.
So
Yeah, when it's you, I think that you care less, it feels like, when it's just an investment vacation home, where you just want to sell it and be done with it, and it doesn't really matter as much. You don't want to spend too much money on it because it's already such an extra expense anyway, that it's more important, especially if it's an investment property and you're doing it to earn money on it. It's more important to net as much as you can when you
yeah.
sell. Yeah, totally. So how is the difference between high desert and the coast, would you say? What are the trends right now?
The trends are our prices are starting to come down a little bit in the high desert. We're noticing, especially for my little town of Helendale, since we're off the beaten path a little bit. So we're Helendale Silver Lakes is in between Victorville and Barstow off of Route 66. So we're seeing prices are coming down a little bit. Palm Desert, Coachella Valley, where I have listings as well. We're starting to see the pricing to come down because it got inflated. Unfortunately, people who bought when it was like really high peak, you're starting to
Yeah.
see some short sales, or you're starting to see they're accepting less money, and they're unfortunately losing money, which is it's not good, but
It's unfortunate. So you're
it's
you're thinking
unfortunate.
things are coming down a little. Do you think it's because obviously the market is really tough right now and people are scared about oil and the war, and you think they're less willing to continue on the path of extra home ownership and things like that?
I'm not really sure about that, but
No.
if people have to sell, they're willing to. It is what it is. There's a lot of different things, especially for our area. We're seeing a lot of job transfers and stuff. So,
Oh, okay.
you know,
You
so
would
it's
just think
very
like,
common.
yeah, I was just saying, you would think that less people are wanting to buy second home and vacation home right now
Oh, for
because of
sure. Oh, for sure.
that. And so
Oh,
that's
yes.
why probably in the desert we're seeing prices go down because there's just not as many people. During COVID, obviously, was such a
Hmm.
massive peak. Everybody wanted to go to Joshua Tree in Palm Springs during COVID. They just wanted out.
They want it
And
out. Yeah.
They wanted out. So everybody was going to this vacation home purchase. I had so many clients buying Arrowhead, Big Bear, Joshua Tree, Palm Springs. Those were the four main areas.
Yeah.
Almost as much as just standard purchasing here in LA. And I guess that's less, the desire for that is less right now. Most people are just trying to buy a primary home for themselves.
For sure. A lot of people are just trying to be able to afford their primary home, especially for VA and veterans and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of VAs out there?
I do. We're out here in Silver Lakes. We're close to Fort Irwin Army base. So we have a lot of people that are civilian that work on base, and then we have service members that work there as well. Oh, there's even a van pool that will actually take you out there. We have so many different people.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting because in the high desert where I own in 29 Palms,
Okay,
I got it right before COVID, actually.
that's good.
Yeah, it was still hot. People were still, it was like an up and coming area at the time. I still feel like it is, and it's 7 years later, but it still feels like people are just learning about it. There isn't a
For
lot of
sure.
growth. You would think there I have 5 acres of land and I can maybe see one or two neighbors. There's like barely anyone there. It's desolate. But I'm always like, why is no one building here yet? There is so much extra land. And I expected after 6, 7 years now to see more of that. But I'm not sure why. I wonder if it is tough to get a septic tank and tough to get the essentials out in the desert, like electricity and gas and everything like that.
Especially for the rural parts, it's hard to bring out the electricity, and it's so expensive.
Is
Just
it?
just have to see where exactly is the electric and see how far they have to pull it in. I do sell a lot of land as well, and for some of these properties, especially if the cheaper ones, 20,000, 25, that means they have no utilities or it's very hard to bring the utilities on. So that's why it's so cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say, how does a reduced fee business model give us some advantages, create unique advantages for seasoned SoCal investors? Because there's a lot of people that I work with, that's what they do is buy investment properties and stuff, especially in these areas to Airbnb and things like that.
Absolutely. So the reduced listing fee will get you yeah, it's the same thing I've been doing for the last 14 years. My processes, have never changed and not going to change. I still do the professional photography. I do drone. I have Matterport. I do have a membership with homes.com, so they will actually promote the listings. Nothing has really changed other than just how much you're paying out on the listing commission side of 1%. With that being said, it's very beneficial for investors or even regular people that just want to save money. A lot of people sometimes when they sell, they want to take as much equity as possible to either to put more money down, buy points to bring down that interest rate, or just leave California with the most amount of money possible. Because once you leave, typically you don't come back. I had a couple
Do you
clients.
find that?
Out of all my clients that have moved to Oklahoma, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, only one of them came back and purchased, and that was the one that went to Oregon for a little bit for school and then came back here. His family was here, but pretty much a lot of the times if they're leaving, I always ask, where are you moving to? And they're like, we're leaving for Arizona, New Mexico. They don't come back. They just up and go.
Yeah, exactly.
So but it means they want to take as much as possible. And most of these people, they like it. So anyway, nothing has ever changed with me. You still get the same Daniel. I do everything that I have done for 14 years. It's just lower fee.
Lower fee. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
With me being the broker, I keep all the commission except for a 5% royalty fee that goes over to the franchise.
To the franchise, yeah. That's great.
Which is fine.
Totally.
And they provide actually a full-time graphic designer for me. So I just put it in, I punch in the stuff, get the pictures in, and we have a branded, super nice flyers. They do social media posting, and then they actually put it on the Move Tube TV, which is a video walkthrough. You could actually download the app on Roku or Apple TV, and there's your property for you.
Oh, wow. Super cool. Nice. It's like a virtual brokerage, so to speak. And you hold your own broker license, right?
I have my own broker's license.
Yeah.
I am the broker of record, and I do have a physical location here in Helendale. And then I am renting a building, an office space in Palm Springs. So I'll be on Palm Canyon Drive.
Oh, nice. Oh my God, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. That's going to be great.
Yeah. But a lot of these different brokers with the franchise, a lot of them do operate like a cloud brokerage, which works for them. I just physically have to have a place to go to work every day.
You appreciate that. Yeah.
I do. I'm still old school a little bit.
Me too. Yeah. I've been in this over 20 years, but I still I go to a physical office. I like being around agents and things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Daniel, for joining us and sharing a little bit about the desert, some information. It's been great getting to know you, and hopefully we chat soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Everyone, you can find Daniel's information, of course, in the below, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.